Hey everyone, Sunday, September 13th. Hope everyone's had a good weekend and a short week, trading week. But let's go over the week that was and take a look at what we got coming down the pipe here today, next week. And of course, we've got not a lot of earnings, but we got one big one, or two big ones probably, FedEx and Adobe reporting. So that should be interesting. Transport's been performing really well, so it'll be interesting to see how FedEx performs. And of course, over the last week, NASDAQ, the cues of technology has been taking a bit of a pullback, taking a pause here. So let's just take a look and see where we're going for the week. But you can see here some stuff that still concerns me about the internals is we're still, for being at highs on a lot of these indexes or close to them, we're really, the internals don't look as good as the indexes numbers would suggest. But anyway, that's going to be the momentum names that are probably going to continue to perform. So let's get into the indexes here quickly. Transports on the week had held this level and still trying to break out here. Volume really dropping off. RSI going higher. So a lot of this is going to depend on what FedEx says, but it's still index transport still looking good here, and on the daily still holding this 20 moving average. RSI looking like it's put in a higher low here. Again, light volume, but stochastics turning back up again. Yeah, so it looks like we may start to break higher here, which I think is going to be theme of the evening. Dow on the pullback here on the week. Another week of losses. We're down 1.6%, 0.7% here on the week. Volume a little bit lighter than the previous week. Let's just say. So we're pulling back here on the daily. Again, we seem to be holding here at this breakout point from back here, and obviously this is where we broke back out, pulled back, retest, and went higher. So it'll be interesting to see if we can hold and go higher from here. And the daily again, that's looking like it's trying to hold. On the SPY, same story. We pulled back to this previous day high. Seem to have held it at this point on the week, but we were down 2.5% roughly on the week. Again, bigger volume than average, but tapering off here. Stochastics are turning down here, but again, they've been really overbought. Let's take a look on the daily. Again, we seem to be holding at this level here, which you could say is somewhere around a breakout point, and of course right on the 50 moving average. So I think it's going to be critical if we're going to get a bounce here. We need to hold this 50 moving average on the SPY, which is around 333, 334. The Qs on the week, again, big pullback for the last 2 weeks. Lost another 4.5, 4.6% on the week after last week's rout, previous week's rout. Again, we're still looking like we're in a bit of a trend here upwards, but again, I think we're going to need to see a bit of a bounce next week, and if we're going to get a move back again. So again, volume pretty high here on the week, and the Qs on the daily, again, trying to hold on to this 50. So if we lose these levels, yeah, we could be in for another flush down here to around the 260 level. But I'm thinking we are going to find a level here and bounce again, because I just think the Fed isn't going away, and the reasons this market was going higher have not changed. So again, the IWM, probably the worst performer of all the indexes. Again, where RSI is starting to roll over here, which is a little bit concerning. MACD, or the stochastics, are turning down here. Again, we've got a bunch of moving averages converging in this area. So again, I think it's kind of critical that we don't go much lower. Otherwise, we could be in for a much larger flush. Again, this IWM, again, not looking as good as some of the other indexes. Small caps still struggling. And what makes me think we're going to bounce here is as we were sort of bouncing along, We sold off on the VIX, and when the VIX drops down here, you see this was happening as we were going higher, which gave me a lot of concern about the market pullback, which we got. Now we're pulling back on the VIX, which is an indicator to me that maybe we're going to now get a bit of a bounce here. So that's really why I think we're going to see a bounce. The 10-year, I mean, if there's no stimulus coming, I think Powell may be inclined to try to push this this yield curve lower. Right now, the 10-year Treasury, the yield on the 10-year Treasury is still trading around this 0.65, 0.7% range, narrowing into a very tight trading range here on the week. And so we'll see which way it breaks. My inclination is it's probably going to head lower, but we'll see. But that will be good for stocks if it does, except for the financials, which it won't be good for if we start heading lower on the yields again. Let's just take a look at the dollar, the UUP, dollar index. Again, we're kind of chopping around in a range now, so I'd be watching to see which way this breaks. Of course, if it breaks higher, a lot of strength, it may not be good for gold and silver in the short term. But again, if we just chop it, gold and silver may just hang in there as metal trades. RSI just really flattening out here at the 50 midpoint. So let's take a quick look at some of the sectors that we'd like to watch. And you can see here again, as far as the discretionary, we had a bit of an inside week. Communications again getting beat up with the technology sector, again down on Friday, but holding this 200-day moving average. Same with communications. That's why I think we're probably gonna see a bounce here. Industrials hanging in there, materials still doing well. It's the chemicals that seem to be doing really well in this materials group, like the Dow. We'll go over that shortly. Energy, as I've mentioned numerous times, just a dog's breakfast. If you want to be long on this, as we say, it may bounce here because it's getting really extended. But I have been playing this a little bit with a Canadian ETF to the downside, just because it's just such a horrible looking chart. And anyway, yeah, everything else kind of chopping sideways, staples, REITs, and healthcare kind of holding a level here. So overall, let's look at some scans for the week. But overall, looking ahead this week, I am anticipating we are going to get a bit of a bounce here, especially in the technology areas that have been strong and we've seen pullbacks on. Let's start out with Boeing. I think it's probably going to hold here and probably going to bounce back up as one of the industrials. The Chinese stocks have really pulled back here. I think we're going to see a resurgence in those, like Baba, pick your favorite one, Baidu, JD. Dow is one of the ones I was mentioning in the materials sector. Chemical stocks have really done well, and this one looks like it's on the verge of breaking out here. The only thing that concerns me about the Dow, the company, not the index. The only thing that concerns me about it is sort of that 5280 level is prior resistance. It's where it's topped out before when you look at it on a monthly chart. So that could be limiting the upside, and I would definitely anticipate. Let's just take a quick look at it. I'll show you what I mean. You can see here this 5286 level was a high. Prior months 5287, 5286. Wow, look at that, eh? Every time it tried to get through their significant resistance. So there's going to be some significant resistance again. I would say anywhere above 5250 on this. So you got maybe 250 in terms of a stop out point. So let's get back to there, and you probably want to stop out around 40, maybe the bottom of this 48.50. So maybe $1 to make 250 could be a good risk to reward. Fuel cell coming down here. It looks like if it can hold here, we might get a bounce back. Again, the gold and silver have just been trading in and out of because it just keeps chopping around in a range. We'll see where it goes on next week, but I'm really not inclined to play it much more until we see a resolution to this choppiness. We seem to be making lower highs on the upper end. We're kind of holding a base here, so we're making a bit of an ascending triangle on this, just like we did back here. And you can see what happened. When happened back here. We did actually end up with a nice breakout and a run higher. So maybe this is the way this is going to play out again. But again, I'd be looking for this breakout, bit of a retest, and then move higher on the GDX. That's the miners, but you can play it with GLD or SLV, silver if you feel inclined. Here's GLD, of course. This is the actual metal itself. Again, kind of mirroring what's going on with the miners. Micron, again, looks like I think we'll start to move higher on Micron. Micron had a good day on Friday. So I'd keep an eye on that. Riot could hold this 50 moving average here around 250 if it can. We can maybe get a move back up to $4. Silver, sort of same comments as gold. Here's the SMH, again, big pullback from this surge that we had. Maybe if it's going to hold this level here, this is where I think money may rotate back into next week. Again, some of the, this is the solar index ETF. This has been on fire, you can see here, sort of the clean energy trade, and looks like we're making a higher low on the RSI. And the thing I don't like about this one is the volume, but stochastics are turning up again, and that looks positive. The oil trade, again, this seems to be holding here. We'll see how we trade next week, but if we start to lose this level that we're at right now, the low 2673-ish, 26.6, let's just call it 2650. If we can flush, we've got a whole area here down to 24, and even lower, we could flush to 22.5, close this gap here. So, but oil is really oversold here, so maybe we're going to get a bit of a bounce. I don't think we're going to get a gap fill, but you never know. Depends how heavily shorted we are right now, but again, trend is your friend, and the trend is lower. So overall, I would say we should be looking for a bounce. I think the most important thing right now is how we go out the day, because right now the futures are up, but who knows? I mean, we've seen these late day sell-offs, these last a half hour or so sell-offs where we've lost altitude, and again, it'll be interesting to see how we close if we do end up up on the day, if we can hold those gains, go out near the highs with good volume. I think that's a good indication on Monday that we're going to be bouncing and going higher from here. So that's it, everyone. Hope you've had a great weekend. As I said, we'll see you if you're going to join us in the Bear Bull Trading Room. We're live on YouTube at 8:30 with a pre-market show, and then trading the market at 9:30. So we'll hopefully see everyone in the morning. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody. Bye for now.